Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're watching more Star Trek the Animated Series. We are going to be watching an episode called The Infinite Vulcan. This is episode 7. All the episodes of the animated series have been great so far, and I'm hoping this one will be as well. The title, The Infinite Vulcan, that intrigues me. I like Vulcans. Anything that has to do with Vulcans I find very interesting. So let's get into it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the comments. It's Vulcan time. This is the one written by Walter Koenig. I've heard of this. Oh, I mean, I heard he wrote an episode.
I'm getting a reading of some kind of power from that building.
Sulu on the landing party. I like it already.
Well now, what's this?
A tribble? Just kidding.
You're gonna have to see this yourself, sir.
Looks like a koosh ball. Oh, with legs.
What is that thing? It's a mobile plant.
Captain, the power reading now includes an electronic probe.
Phasers on stun. Stay alert. Mr. Sulu, stay here.
Who said you could touch it?
Must have been a thorn. I'm picking up a humanoid reading of incredible strength. It's as if he's been poisoned. Unknown toxic. He's got about 1 minute to live unless I can find an answer.
1 minute?
Who are you?
What?
I am called Agmar. I believe we can help.
Just a minute. I can't let you, whatever you are, inject him with some alien...
Well, he's gonna die in like
Dewdrop.
5 seconds, so...
These beings are of botanical origin.
intelligent plants?
It is an antidote quickly absorbed.
Thank you.
Welcome to the planet Phylos. We did not wish to reveal ourselves immediately. We are a peaceful race, and we have a fear of aliens.
Body readings up to normal. How is it you knew your antidote would work on a human?
There have been humanoid aliens here before.
Where are the rest of your people?
Come, I will show you.
They seem nice.
Our people.
Your ancestors.
No, only the generation before.
What happened?
A human came. He brought sickness and death.
Gram-positive bacteria. It's carried by humanoids without ill effect.
Oh.
It must have been like a plague.
We had no way of knowing what was happening.
What is this
Plant
thing?
life, Captain.
That's a plant? Whoa, it's big. I thought it was tiny.
I think it's after you, Jim.
Kirk to Enterprise.
Oh no!
What do you think they'll do with us, sir?
Probably feed you to its young.
Look,
There goes Spock.
He has been chosen to serve a greater cause. The Master has searched many years
They
to
took the
find a
Vulcan.
specimen like Spock.
The Infinite Vulcan.
All the worlds of the galaxy will share in the beauty of peace and harmony.
Praise to the Master, our Savior. Savior, our Master.
Is that the human they were talking about before?
I am Dr. Stavros Caniclius V. Welcome to Phylos, Captain Kirk.
where is Spock?
He is mine. Return to your ship. Here is your communicator. I am sorry, Captain. You will leave now or suffer the
Is
consequences.
he huge, or is it just the camera angles and stuff? And Kirk looks like he's looking up.
Beam us up, Scotty.
Beam us up, Scotty. He said the thing.
Anything, Mr. Sulu?
We haven't been able to pick up any human life form readings, sir.
Agmar said something about a weapons deactivator. Lock ship's phasers on that laboratory building. Use a wide area stun setting.
Aye, sir.
Fire phasers.
Firing. Phaser stun was neutralized at a distance of 1,000 meters above the area.
Which means our weapons are useless.
I'd hate to resort to clubs and knives.
There may be something more effective.
Maybe a fencing sword?
How's that special equipment coming along?
Special equipment? Ooh.
You'll have it within the hour.
Very well, Mr. Scott. Kirk out.
I can't wait to see what this is gonna be.
One of my great-great-granddaddies way back had the finest garden in the South. I've got his recipe brewing now.
Recipe?
Stavros Caniclius, Earth scientist. Eugenics wars. Plan to clone perfect specimen prototype into master race. Banned from community. No evidence of death.
There used to be a story about a modern Diogenes wandering the galaxy looking for someone special.
A perfect specimen, perhaps.
He'd be over 250 years old.
Not if he cloned a new copy of himself. Remember, he said he was Caniculus 5.
Oh, the fourth clone, huh?
I hope these things work.
Well, the equipment's guaranteed, but I have my doubts about the stuff inside.
Scotty, as soon as we beam down, I want you to leave orbit. Give us 30 minutes.
Aye, sir, but I don't like it.
Energize.
I like how Scotty always does what he's told and never really complains, but always says what's on his mind. If he doesn't like it, you'll know.
I can't believe it.
Incredible.
Looks like they're getting ready to go on a trip.
But where?
Oh, are those ships?
The number of ships indicates a mass migration.
What could they want Spock for?
The ships look like they never got off the ground.
Any indication of Caniculus or Spock?
No, sir. Only the Phylosians.
Let's hope we can be as persuasive as Caniculus.
Spock can do mind meld. He can do some telepathy. And
We don't want to hurt you, but we must have Spock back.
calculations.
We are pleased Spock will carry on our work. We are the last of a dying people, Captain. Our spore cells have been destroyed. There will be no more of our kind.
What if something happens to Spock?
I will show you he is safe and in good hands.
Just like that, Captain?
Keep that bag handy.
First step to saving Spock is finding out where he is, so
This will serve to illuminate our way.
what an interesting contraption. Whoa! It's like the jet. Reminds me of the Jetsons.
In addition to the surface force field.
Did you hear something?
What?
I'm not sure.
Wings flapping?
There it is again. A flapping sound. Agmar.
Oh boy.
Run. We've got to find some light. Don't stop. Try to stay together.
We're running!
Jim, up ahead.
I see
Lots
it.
of running in this animated series. Spock!
He's dying.
They said he was in good hands!
In a few minutes, your friend will be gone. Behold, gentlemen, the salvation of a galaxy. Spock 2.
Spock 2? Oh my god. So the clones are all big.
Get ready.
A gas.
Well, how about that? Great Granddaddy's weed spray still works.
Weed spray?
Kirk to Enterprise. Nothing.
Their communications probably
Must
can't
be
reach.
these blasted walls
Yeah,
again.
through the thick walls.
A few minutes. His mind is gone. This machine has drained his mind somehow.
More than just drained. Just as my predecessor transferred his knowledge to me through this apparatus, I have done that with Mr. Spock.
You talk about creating life with your clones, but you have to murder to do it. Come on. Out of my way, mister. That's an order.
This is a strange episode.
I want the entire power load of the ship redirected into a tight beam transmission.
To maintain communication, we would have to burn out all our reserves.
And don't I know it, lass? But we must speak to the captain.
He's coming out of it, Jim.
Spock, what is the logic
They're
in letting
so
a man
big.
die for the sake of creating his duplicate? Spock's death is meaningless, if it is only to create a giant version of himself.
He will be the beginning of a master race.
That's our ship calling, Spock.
Spock is slipping away. There isn't much time left.
I'm sure we're getting through, but they're not acknowledging.
Keep trying.
Commander Spock here.
Oh, thank heaven. I had the library computer check out all known writings by Caniculus, a recurring theme in his later essays about using his master race as a peacekeeping force throughout the galaxy.
Okay, so his intentions don't seem bad.
Let's hope it was information they could use.
Caniculus. There has been peace in the Federation for over 100 years.
Oh, right.
What of the depredations of the Romulans, the Klingons, and the Kazinti? An army of Spock duplicates is necessary to subdue them.
But why do you agree with his plan of a super race?
Disease struck us before we could carry out our own plan to impose peace on a galaxy that knew none.
We already have peace in the Federation. You have no need of Spock.
No, the mold must be broken.
If you have Spock's mind, you'll know the Vulcan symbol called the Idic.
Infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
They're bringing
Could
back
an
the
army of
edict. Oh.
Spocks impose peace in defiance of the edict concept?
I do not believe so.
Our dream must not be allowed to die.
Sulu versus Plant Man. Let's go. Oh no, we're playing golf.
You've killed Spock!
May I suggest a more constructive way? My mind to your mind.
The Vulcan mind touch.
I am pleasantly surprised at your capacity for deductive reasoning, Captain. There appears to be no end to your arsenal of formidable talents.
Spock, you old...
There will be no militia, no other Spocks.
But what of my work? If all I have lived for is already done,
You've lived so many lives.
there appears to be no reason why I should continue to exist.
I would suggest Dr. Caniclius remain on Phylos with my duplicate. May yet achieve a rebirth of the Philosian civilization. My thoughts exactly, Mr. Spock. So one might assume, Mr. Spock.
There's too many Spocks.
I would be honored.
By the way, Mr. Sulu, any chance of teaching me that body throw?
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
You have to be inscrutable.
You're the most scrutable man I know.
Okay. So I had to look up inscrutable because I've heard it before, like a lot of times, but I never really, it's like one of those words that you hear and like you feel like you can kind of understand it in context, but you never really sat down and thought like, what does this word actually mean, or looked it up. So I looked it up, and inscrutable is impossible to understand or interpret. So Sulu was saying, you know, you have to have a bit of a inscrutable nature in order to pull off that sick move that I did, and like something that's difficult to understand or interpret or impossible to. And Kirk saying, well, you know, I can see right through you, basically, like you're pretty transparent, I guess. And then Sulu winks at the camera. It's a cute ending. If anybody can expand on that, please do. Oh, right. So this one was written by Walter Koenig. This was an interesting one. I do enjoy that Koenig wrote Takei in to have a bit of a more prominent role in this episode. I like to think that the Chekhov Sulu like friendship transcends out into reality a bit. And he said, hey, I'm going to put my buddy, you know, put him on the planet and have him do like this cool over the shoulder throw move. He's going to fight a plant. It's going to be awesome. Again, visually, this episode was so interesting. So many things to look at. I feel like watching these over is going to be really fun because the first time I watched through, I can take in some of the sights, you know, quite a few, but I'm also trying to keep track of everything that's going on, trying to follow the story and things like that. So I can't really stop and just really pay attention to all the details that are happening. So I'm really looking forward to watching these again and just really looking at all the architecture and all the plants and the animals and the different aliens and just really study them because there's a lot going on and it's amazing. The planet looked really neat. The koosh ball at the beginning, the Phylosians, and then inside their buildings or like their cave systems or whatever they have going on there, and those pterodactyl like flying things with the tentacles. Lots of tentacles in this episode. So I was a little bit confused at first because the Phylosians were like, oh, we're peaceful. We wouldn't harm anyone. And then they stole Spock away. So it's like, you start to wonder if they're lying about being these peaceful creatures. Then to find out that they actually are. But they're confused because they're going off of old data, old knowledge. There's no more wars, no eugenics wars. I mean, there isn't absolute peace in the galaxy. Kirk kept saying there's peace in the Federation. Peace in the Federation. Like, yes, that's true, but you have the Romulans, you have the Klingons, and there's conflict all over the place. We get into some kind of conflict every week, right? So I wouldn't say that the Philosians and the giant Roman-esque clone man wouldn't have any purpose. They could be mediators, like, who knows? But they definitely don't need to build like a race of super Spocks. But the thought of them creating a super race of giant super Spocks, that is a very interesting thought. So I do like the idea of these this race of Philosians and then the Caniculus or whatever his name was, basically extending their life as much as they can to realize this dream of theirs of peace in the galaxy. Even though they may not have a role in that world, the Philosians would die off very quickly. The Caniculus guy holding on to what he can of the past in order to make the future a better place, and definitely didn't have himself in mind to reap the benefits of that world, because once he learned that there was peace, that there was no need to bring this peace about, he didn't say like, well, good, now I can live in the peaceful world that I always wanted. He said, I've lost my raison d'etre, however you say it. Raison d'etre. Anyways, his reason for being, his reason for existing. Overall, this was an enjoyable episode. It gave us some conflict, and then it wrapped everything up really nicely. It was a silly misunderstanding. Nobody got hurt. And it just really tickles me to know that there is a giant Spock clone out there in the galaxy trying to help a giant clone of a 20th century? They said eugenics wars to the 90s, right? So giant clone of a 20th century man who dresses like and is named like somebody who was around in like the 1st century or so. Not my favorite episode, but definitely a solid episode. Definitely lots of good stuff in there, and I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to reading your comments, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of the animated series. Until then, bye-bye.